Hi, I'm Alvin, and today we'll be applying veneer. So today we'll be using a large sheet of paperback veneer. There are a lot of different types. Ours is a white oak. We're using a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet, and we'll be using contact cement to adhere it, which is an industry standard way of doing things that doesn't require much special equipment. We'll be working with a really big sheet of veneer. If yours came in a smaller strip, you'll have to adhere them together to make a larger sheet. For this project, we'll be using contact cement, brushes to apply it, razor knife, and some 180 grit sandpaper. If you have access to one, a small handheld router and a flush trim bit will make a great help, but otherwise not necessary. I'll start by measuring the areas of the substrate where the veneer will eventually stick to. When measuring the veneer, I'll add an inch or two to both length and width so I can easily align the veneer to the substrate later on. Once I've cut all the pieces, I'll need to get out my contact cement and start brushing it onto both the back of the veneer and to the substrate. Make sure to coat every last inch of both the veneer and the substrate. If any part doesn't get a decent coating, it will not adhere well. I'll work on one side of the piece at a time, only rotating it once all the steps are done. Once the contact cement is completely dry, we can apply the veneer. When the two pieces touch, they will bond immediately, so I use a piece of cardboard to help position it. Apply pressure to the middle and work outwards, then remove the cardboard a few more inches and repeat the process. I'm using a block of scrap wood with a sanded over edge to apply even more pressure. I'll also use a rubber roller later on, which does the same thing. So now we will repeat the process for all the pieces. Okay, once it's attached, you can start trimming the edges. You can do this with a razor knife like I'm doing here. Or the far more efficient way is with a router and flush trim bit. That's what I'll use to finish these up. There'll probably be some debris afterwards, but I'll just clean that up with my knife. Now we'll start all over from each new side until they're all covered. Now we will re-glue any edges that may have come loose with CA glue and an instant hardener. If you don't have these, you can just use normal super glue. Each side will need a light sanding. I'm using a palm sander, but a sanding block or sandpaper will be fine. Sand down any contact cement or super glue that is on the surface, and be very careful not to sand through the veneer. Finally, I'll take some 180 grit and break the edges, which means I'll very lightly round the corners to soften them up. Do not use a power sander for this. Alright guys, well, that's it. I hope you liked what you saw. Please consider subscribing and liking the video. If you have any questions about the process you saw today, please leave us a comment. We'll get on answering it as quick as we can. I might as well leave some ideas for future videos you'd like to see. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.